Dear Leo, bold heart, radiant soul, fire sign of purpose and pride, let me speak directly to the part of you that knows something big is coming. And yes, it's real. It's powerful. It's close. After July 11th, a door is opening, not just any door, but a portal to the wealth, visibility, and recognition you were born to embody. And all it takes is one sacred moment of alignment. Just one listen. One shift in awareness. And what's meant for you begins to arrive without resistance. You didn't stumble upon this message by accident. You were led here, called by something greater than logic, deeper than desire. You were magnetized here by the resonance of your soul. So let me ask you this, Leo. Have you felt the undercurrent? That subtle pull beneath your daily routine, like there's a new rhythm forming under the surface? Have you noticed patterns repeating, numbers like 111, 555, or 888, dreams of gates, bridges, or places you've never been? If so, listen closely. These are not coincidences. They are signals. They are cosmic confirmations that the universe is aligning in your favor. Not someday, but now. And what's even more important is this. You don't need to change who you are to step into this. You simply need to return to yourself. To your essence. To that inner flame that never truly dimmed, only waited. This video is not just a horoscope. It's a sacred activation. We are not here to entertain your curiosity. We are here to speak directly to your soul. To remind you that wealth, abundance, and recognition are not things you chase, they are things you attract when you are in alignment. So Leo, I want you to pause, breathe, and feel into this truth. After July 11th, life begins to change. Not because of luck. Not because someone chooses you. But because you finally choose yourself. You step into the frequency of allowing. You let go of the need to prove. You start living as the magnet you are, and wealth begins to mirror your vibration back to you in the form of money, opportunity, support, and love. And if any part of your body is reacting right now, goosebumps, tightness in the chest, a feeling in the gut, then please take this as confirmation. This message is meant for you. Let's claim it together. Comment below. I am ready to receive the abundance that was always mine. Speak it. Anchor it. Let it echo into your timeline. And before we dive in, let me thank you for being here. Every time you like, comment, share, or subscribe, you're not just supporting this channel, you're helping expand this field of light. You're helping messages like this reach the people who need it most. And for that, I thank you deeply. So stay with me until the very end. Because what the universe is revealing for Leo right now is not ordinary. It's breathtaking. And what you're about to hear may just shift everything. Shall we begin? There's a quiet moment that happens just before a great shift, like the inhale before the arrow is released, or the stillness of the earth just before it blooms. Leo, you are standing in that moment now. The stars have shifted, yes. But more importantly, you have shifted. What you're feeling isn't just planetary alignment, it's a recognition within your own being that you are no longer waiting, no longer dimming, no longer shrinking into spaces too small for your soul. After July 11th, this isn't about potential anymore. It's about embodiment. You're no longer in rehearsal. You are stepping on stage, not to perform, but to be. And there's something incredibly freeing in that, not in chasing validation or success, but in simply standing in your truth and letting the world respond to your vibration. This cycle, this activation, doesn't demand more effort, it invites more presence. It asks you to release the grasping and the proving, the subtle ways you've twisted yourself in order to be palatable, acceptable, safe. That part of your journey is complete. You don't need to earn space anymore. You are the space. And now, what resonates with your essence will naturally be drawn to you. The energies following this alignment whisper something deeper. You do not become worthy by achieving, your worth is what creates the achievement. You don't chase wealth. Wealth arrives because you have become the kind of vessel that can receive it without fear, without guilt, without hiding. You don't hunt down visibility. The world turns its face to you because you've stopped hiding from yourself. When we talk about activation, we often imagine it as something outside us triggering a change. But the truth is more subtle and more powerful. It's not about being pushed by the stars. It's about the stars reflecting back the readiness you've quietly built through every choice to stay true, to walk through the fire, to love without applause. You've cleared space within, and now the external world simply mirrors what already lives inside you. The most powerful transformations aren't loud. They're not marked by sudden fireworks or public announcements. They arrive in the way the wind shifts, the way your body softens when you stop pretending, the way your chest expands when you realize finally that you don't have to apologize for who you are. And in that expansion, Leo, life flows in. You may not have noticed it, but you've already been preparing for this. Every time you said no to what didn't align, every time you let go of needing to be the loudest in the room to feel heard, every time you chose rest over proving you were aligning. You were tuning your energy to a frequency that doesn't chase, doesn't beg, doesn't manipulate. It simply exists in its full power and lets the right doors open. What unfolds now is not forced. It's not fast in the chaotic sense. It's graceful. It's elegant. It's so you. Because real power doesn't crash through walls, it walks through open gates. And now, those gates are no longer locked. The codes are in your breath, your stillness, your decision to stop waiting for permission. This isn't the beginning of something new, it's the arrival of everything you've been building beneath the surface. The external world is simply catching up to your inner evolution. So when opportunities arrive, when wealth surprises you, when the right people seem to appear effortlessly, and act shocked. Smile. Nod. Say thank you. And remember, it's not magic. It's resonance. You didn't become ready after July 11th. You were already ready. That moment just gave the world permission to reflect it back to you. There is a quiet beauty in the way things return when we stop chasing them. Leo, what you're stepping into after July 11th isn't a reward for performance, it's a response to presence. The stars are not here to grant you permission. They are simply mirroring the readiness that already lives within you. And the energy that surrounds you now, astrologically and energetically, is not asking for you to try harder, it's inviting you to stand taller, speak clearer, and receive more openly. With the Sun, your ruling planet, forming a powerful trine with Jupiter and Venus, a rare triad is illuminated in your chart. These planets, when aligned, create a current of expansion, value, and magnetism. It's not just an astrological shift, it's a perfect vibrational alignment for you to embody leadership, love, and prosperity in a more grounded and effortless way. The second house, which governs your personal finances, and the fifth house, which represents creativity, confidence, and visibility, are not abstract concepts. They are real arenas of life, and they are lighting up to welcome what is already seeking you. Not in the future now. What makes this moment even more extraordinary is that your internal state is finally matching the external shifts. This is not just a phase of earning money. It is a phase of earning back your power. In ancient teachings, it's said that when one walks in the world without grasping, life begins to flow in as naturally as breath itself. You are not attracting abundance because you are lucky. You are attracting it because you are finally aligned with your own enoughness. And with that alignment comes leadership, not in a forced or hierarchical sense, but in the way a flame naturally draws attention in a dark room. You're not rising above others. You're simply rising into yourself. You're beginning to walk with the kind of quiet confidence that no longer asks, "Will they see me?" but instead states, "I am here. I am whole. And I am ready." That frequency is unmistakable and people will be drawn to it. Partners, clients, opportunities, collaborations, they don't need to be hunted down. They feel your energy. And energy, as always, leads before words or credentials. Perhaps what is most sacred about this chapter is the recognition that you are not being blessed because you've done things the right way. You're being met with return because of all the moments you gave in silence. You kept your word when no one was watching. You offered your heart when it wasn't trendy. You stayed committed to your integrity even when it cost you. These are the invisible investments that now bloom into visible wealth, not only financially, but emotionally, relationally, and spiritually. As your frequency rises, your electromagnetic field, what some call your energetic aura, expands. And the things that once felt far away begin to orbit closer, naturally. It's not a mystery. It's resonance. You are no longer trying to be worthy of abundance. You're living as someone who understands that abundance is your natural state when you stop resisting who you really are. This shift is subtle but irreversible. You're no longer acting from fear of being left behind. You're moving from a place of fullness. You're choosing not out of desperation, but discernment. And in that choice, your reality begins to reshape itself around your clarity. The things that once required effort to attract now arrive without struggle, not because they've changed, but because you have. So as money flows in, as recognition arrives, as aligned relationships find you, don't be surprised. You didn't earn it by force. You allowed it through transformation. And transformation, real transformation, happens the moment we stop becoming and start being. Leo, you are being. And life is responding. There are moments in life when the external world begins to mirror back the quiet, unseen changes that have been unfolding within us. This is one of those moments for you, Leo. The cards drawn for this cycle are not just symbolic, they are reflections of the deeper reality you've been building, often in silence, often without applause. The Sun, the King of Wands, and the Six of Wands do not arrive as a coincidence. They arrive as confirmation that something within you has ripened. And now, life is ready to respond. The sun is not just a card of brightness, it is the essence of your own ruling energy. It is a return to center. A reminder that you are not meant to orbit around others' expectations. You are meant to radiate. To lead not by force, but by being fully lit from within. In the presence of the sun, doors don't need to be unlocked, they simply open, because light has arrived. And Leo, you are the light. You are the key. The moment you stop trying to earn your place and begin standing in your natural glow, the world reorganizes itself around your warmth. Following that is the King of Wands, a symbol of command not rooted in ego, but in clarity. You are no longer being asked to prove your vision. You are being invited to lead with it. This isn't the kind of leadership that demands attention, it's the kind that awakens direction in others. And they are waiting. Waiting for your movement, your word, your courage to go first. You've outgrown the role of background support. You're not an extra in someone else's story. You are the one who holds the flame. And the path is cleared not because you push through, it's cleared because your energy walks ahead of you. And then comes the Six of Wands, the energy of victory, but not the hollow kind. This is the kind of triumph that follows integrity. The success that grows from staying true when it was tempting to conform. Recognition is arriving, yes, but not because you chased it. Because you've become the kind of presence that cannot be ignored. There's a quiet dignity in this kind of win. It's not about being loud. It's about being undeniable. The numerological energies speak just as clearly. The number 5 is the vibration of change, but not chaotic change, conscious change. It's the moment when you feel the old skin no longer fits. The number 8 brings a sense of cyclical power, of energy returning to you multiplied. Give and receive. Exhale and inhale. It speaks to the principle that what you offer with sincerity always finds its way back. Often not from where you gave it, but from where you're meant to receive. And maybe you've started noticing certain numbers repeat around you on receipts, license plates, clocks. These patterns are not just signs, they are frequency codes. Each one vibrates with a specific intention, a kind of internal resonance map. When you see them, pause. Ask yourself, what am I ready to receive right now? That reflection alone opens new currents. At the heart of this moment is a profound reminder. You don't have to strive to create meaning. You only need to recognize the meaning that is already present. What's happening in your life isn't random. It's rhythm. It's the sound of everything you've poured in: energy, kindness, quiet resilience, now returning to you in ways that might feel unfamiliar, but deeply deserved. This is not about becoming something new. This is about stepping fully into what you already are, with nothing held back. Comment the number that's been following you lately. It's more than coincidence, it's your own frequency calling you forward. Listen. Respond. The universe is already on the move. There's a delicate balance. We all search for the space where love and abundance coexist without conflict, where neither one asks you to shrink in order to keep the other. For Leo, that space becomes especially illuminated after this energetic turning point. When the core of your identity is ruled by the sun, you're not here to dim your light to fit into relationships. You are here to shine fully and, in doing so, call in love that reflects and amplifies your wholeness, not questions it. This moment in your journey is not about choosing between love and success. It's about understanding how both are sourced from the same well, your alignment. When you're in tune with your truth, when your actions, intentions, and energy match the quiet knowing in your heart, both love and wealth begin to flow in ways that don't require efforting or sacrifice. You don't have to trade one for the other. You simply need to remain rooted in yourself. For those of you who are walking the path alone right now, this is not a space of lack, it's a sacred threshold. Solitude becomes the proving ground for clarity. When you stop reaching for validation, when you become comfortable with your own rhythm, something subtle shifts. Your energy no longer seeks completion, it becomes magnetic. And that's when love begins to orbit you. Not because you're perfect or performative, but because your presence has become a soft, steady frequency that calls in only what honors it. And if you're already in partnership, this period offers the chance to refine, not to discard. True partnership isn't about always being aligned in mood or opinion. It's about being aligned in growth, in shared vision, in mutual respect. This is the time to upgrade the container of your relationship, not with pressure, but with conscious invitation. What can we build together that nourishes us both? What part of our connection can evolve so that it adds energy to our lives, not drains it? Wealth and love are not separate currents. They rise or fall together, based on the quality of your relationship with yourself. If love in your life requires you to abandon parts of who you are in order to maintain harmony, that cost shows up in other areas: your creativity, your confidence, your ability to receive. But when love becomes a mirror that reminds you of your wholeness, it becomes a generator. It amplifies not just joy, but direction, courage, and expansion. In the teachings of presence and inner mastery, there's a concept that says, what you cling to out of fear will shrink, and what you hold with open hands will flourish. This is especially true in the realm of the heart. When you release the need to control how love shows up, or how success should look, you make space for both to arrive in their most nourishing form. Your current frequency, after all the internal shifts you've moved through, is no longer aligned with relationships that confuse chaos for passion or withholding for mystery. You are ready for clarity, for truth, for a kind of connection that doesn't ask you to perform, but instead invites you to be more of who you already are. That kind of love isn't just romantic, it's revolutionary. And it's deeply connected to your financial and emotional well-being. So trust where you are. Whether in partnership or in solitude, you are not behind. You are not lacking. You are at a doorway, one that asks you not to fix yourself, but to root deeper in the self that is already wise, already radiant, already worthy of a love that strengthens your shine instead of softening it. When you love from fullness, Leo, everything in your life responds accordingly. Including your abundance. Including your purpose. Including the next chapter of your becoming. There is something profoundly healing about rituals, not because they magically make things happen, but because they remind us that we are already happening. Every small act of devotion becomes a mirror of intention, a message to life that we are ready to receive not just more but to receive differently. And in this part of your journey, Leo, you are being invited to create a space visibly and energetically for abundance to feel safe arriving. Color, in this process, is not just decorative. It is vibrational. It moves through your field like sound moves through air, subtle, invisible, and deeply affecting. Gold, for example, does more than symbolize wealth. It speaks directly to your solar essence. It reflects your divine value. It reminds the world and, more importantly, you that you were never made to be modest in your radiance. Gold activates a cellular memory of self-worth, of leadership without apology, of walking into a room knowing that your presence itself is currency. Then comes royal purple, not just a color of majesty, but of discernment. It sharpens the intuition and calms the ego. It whispers, not shouts. When you surround yourself with this hue through clothing, objects, or even visualization, you deepen the trust between your mind and your inner knowing. It's a color that slows the world down just enough for truth to surface. When you wear purple, you're not saying, "Look at me." You're saying, "I see clearly. I choose with purpose." And finally, deep red, the color of rooted confidence. It is sensual, yes, but also stabilizing. It grounds the imagination. It brings your power back into your body. In practices of mindfulness and energy balancing, this shade relates to the root of survival, belonging, and sovereignty. To integrate it is to say, "I am here, I am whole, and I do not fear being seen in my full form." When paired with ritual, these frequencies begin to communicate with the invisible. Take, for instance, the act of drinking warm lemon water each morning. It seems simple. But this practice does more than wake up the body. It symbolically clears what is stagnant, not just in digestion, but in belief. It is a gesture of purification, a promise that you are making to begin the day with lightness, to let go of heaviness before the world even asks anything of you. And when you pair that with a spoken affirmation, "I am a magnet for wealth and aligned opportunity," you're not just speaking into the air. You are writing instructions into your electromagnetic field. Words have weight. Intention has a rhythm. And every time you declare yourself ready, your energy shifts in response. It doesn't matter if your mind isn't convinced yet. The practice reshapes the internal narrative by doing, not waiting to believe. The morning walk becomes not just exercise, but enactment. Each step visualized as planting gold along your path tells your subconscious that you are laying a future, one step at a time. You are not running toward a finish line. You are preparing the road for abundance to walk toward you. At night, when the world is quieter, desire becomes more honest. Writing down what you long for without judgment, without filters, is not indulgence. It is courage. To admit what you truly want is the beginning of receiving it. And when you end that ritual by releasing the need to chase, and simply whisper, "I don't need to pursue, I only need to open," you loosen your grip. And in that loosening, space is made. These practices are not about control. They are about cooperation with yourself, with rhythm, with life. When you live intentionally, life begins to respond with that same intention. Not immediately, not always in the form you expect, but always in alignment with the energy you've dared to embody. Leo, you were never meant to dim your light just to make others feel more comfortable. And now, finally, you can feel it, can't you? The shift, the stirring, the inner voice that says, "You don't need permission anymore." What's unfolding in front of you isn't a dream or a coincidence, it's a soul-aligned invitation. This moment is not a forecast. It's not a maybe. It's a spiritual activation. Everything you've experienced up until now has been guiding you to this threshold. No more waiting for someone to recognize your worth. No more asking if it's okay to want more. No more shrinking your brilliance to fit a mold that was never meant for you. This is the turning point. And you, dear Leo, are not just a character in someone else's story. You are the author, the fire, the force. Take a breath. Feel the gravity of this moment. The universe is not giving you permission, it is placing in your hands the key you've always carried but were once too afraid to use. The time of preparation is over. This is the hour of claiming. The door is open, not because someone opened it for you, but because your energy, your growth, your consistency, your faith made it unlock. You are being chosen not randomly, but deliberately. Because you've shown that your heart can lead with integrity. Because you've sacrificed quietly, stayed strong silently, and gave love without condition. That doesn't go unnoticed. It creates a vibration. And that vibration has now become a magnet for wealth, for aligned love, for the kind of opportunities that change everything, not just in your bank account, but in your soul. So I invite you to pause and reflect. What would happen if you truly believed that you are already enough? That you're already magnetic? That your presence is more than a role, it's a signal to the world that greatness has arrived? What doors would you walk through? What visions would you breathe life into? Say it with me, not just as words, but as a declaration. I am ready to receive the abundance I deserve. Let this be the sentence that lives in your energy today. Let it ripple through every decision you make, every step you take. This is not about chasing. This is about aligning. And now, I gently encourage you, comment below and affirm it. I am ready to receive the abundance I deserve. Let that be your message to the universe, and to yourself. And if this message resonated with you, I'd be deeply grateful if you liked this video, subscribed to Eternal Mindfulness, and shared this with someone whose light is also rising. You are never alone on this path. Every step you take from here is no longer about becoming, it's about remembering who you've always been. And that, Leo, is when miracles happen.